It's reading time. And have you heard that there is a day coming up called Groundhog's Day? And Groundhog's Day is a day when a groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil comes out of his burrow. Do you remember that word? Burrow. It's a hole in the ground that animals live in. So Punxsutawney Phil comes out of his burrow and he looks to see if he sees his shadow or not. If he sees his shadow, then he runs back down into his burrow and he goes back to sleep again. And that means we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter. But if he comes out and he doesn't see his shadow, he thinks, maybe I should look for some food. And he goes out, and it means that we're going to have spring soon. So we are going to have Groundhog's Day very soon, February 2nd, and I'm going to read this book with you today. You all have this book, and you need to put your name on the bottom. While you're doing that name, you might as well put your name on the top of your paper too that you have. Your paper is this one that has Punxsutawney Phil on the front of it. Okay, your name goes right up there. All right, names are on both papers. Then we are ready to get started. We're going to start reading. So let's turn, well, the first thing says Groundhog Day. Do you see that? Groundhog is kind of a long word. Day, that's a short word, okay? And open up to the very first page. I am not going to be able to turn this and show it to you because I can't read it then. I have to turn it so I can read it, but you're going to follow along with your finger on your book. You don't need to watch me because I'm not doing anything that you need to see. So put your finger on the words in your book as I'm reading. So the first word is groundhog. Day is. Hey, we know that word is. We've had that before. Can you circle it? Is. Okay. Groundhog Day is always February 2nd. Do you see the 2? And then it has an ND after it. That means second. Second. The tradition states that if the groundhog sees his shadow, we have 6 more weeks of winter. Okay, so if he sees his shadow, that scares him, and he goes back down into his burrow, and we have 6 more weeks of winter. Let's turn the page, and now you should see a little number 2 down there in the corner. Make sure you're on page 2. Now we start way up at the top, and it says, if the groundhog does not see his shadow, spring is on the way. Then he can go out and look for food because spring is on the way. Go down towards the bottom. It has been reported that his predictions have been correct 39. Do you see 39? 39% of the time. So that says when he comes out and he looks for his shadow, 39% of the time he's been right. Either we have had 6 more weeks of winter or spring has come early. 39%. That's not even half. Okay? Turn the page. Now you're on page 3. Oh, 3. Look for 3 down there. Okay? Way up at the top. Here are some fun facts about groundhogs. Groundhogs are also called woodchucks. That's another name that they have, woodchucks. They're not always called groundhogs. I think around here people call them woodchucks. Okay. Next one. Oh, number 4. We're up at the top. Groundhogs are mammals. They are in the rodent family. Ooh, I don't like rodents. They eat plants like dandelions and grass. That's what they eat. Okay. Gonna go to page 5. Look for your 5. Groundhogs' strong claws allow them to climb trees and dig in the ground. We're on page 6. Groundhogs live in the northern part of North America. They hibernate in burrows during the cold winter months. Why do you think they hibernate? Do you remember what they ate? They eat dandelions and grass. Have you seen any dandelions or grass out there right now? I haven't seen any. So if they weren't sleeping, they would starve to death because there's none of that stuff for them to eat. So they have to go to sleep and wait for the spring to come so all that stuff starts to grow again, and then they have something to eat. Let's go to page 7. The groundhog. The funny little groundhog digs a home in the fall and hides there all winter rolled up in a ball. On February 2nd, he comes out of there to look at the sky and to sniff the air. Do you know what that's called? That's called a poem. It's a poem about the groundhog. Listen to it again. The funny little groundhog digs a home in the fall and hides there all winter rolled up in a ball. On February 2nd, he comes out of there to look at the sky and to sniff the air. Do you know how I know that's a poem? Because I hear some rhyming words. What was the word that rhymed with fall? He digs a home in the fall and hides there all winter, rolled up in a ball. Then there's another rhyming word. On February 2nd, he comes out of there. I want to know, what is the word that's going to rhyme with there? To look at the sky and to sniff the air. Yes. Okay. So we just finished reading our Groundhog book, but that's not going to be the end because now we have a worksheet to do. And the worksheet is going to ask you questions about the story that we just read. Okay? So the first question is up here. It says, what day is Groundhog Day? Is it February 2nd? That's A. Is it B, May 2nd? Or is it C, June 2nd? I want you to circle the right answer. Is it A, February 2nd, B, May 2nd, or is it C, June 2nd? Got it? Did you get this one? It's A, February 2nd is Groundhog's Day. Okay. The number 2 question says, what continent do groundhogs live on? Is it A, North America, B, Africa, or C, Australia? Do you remember where they lived? Did they live in North America, Africa, or Australia? I'll give you a hint. It's where we live. Do we live in North America, Africa, or Australia? I gave you a hint. Are you ready? A, North America. We live in America, so that's the one you should have circled. Okay, number 3. Where do groundhogs hibernate? Do they A, in streams, B, in mountains, or C, in burrows? Where do they hibernate? In streams, mountains, or burrows? Oh, do you have the answer? Let's find out. C, burrows. That's where they hibernate. Remember, they dig that hole in the ground. Okay. Number 4. What is another name for groundhog? What was that other? I told you, I think most of the people around here call it this, but let's see if you remember. Was it A, burrowel, B, woodchuck, or C, bear? Which one? Was it burrowel, woodchuck, or bear? I think I remember this one because I told you, I think this is what they call it around here. We don't actually call it a groundhog around here. Let's see. Yes, it's B, a woodchuck. Okay. Let's see if you remember this one. This one I don't know if I talked about very much, but I did read it. Groundhogs belong to the blank group. Do they belong to the mammal group, B, the reptile group, or C, the bird group? Is it mammal, reptile, or bird group? What do you think? A, the mammal group. They belong to the mammal group. Okay, last question. Are you ready for it? What do groundhogs use to dig burrows? What do they use? Do they use shovels? Do they use their teeth? Or do they use their sharp claws? Which one do you think they use to dig their burrows? Do they use shovels, their teeth, or sharp claws? Oh, I know. They use their sharp claws, C, to dig their burrows. All right. Now, if you still have some time, don't get up. What you're going to do is you're going to go back into your book and you are going to go find all of the sight word thes. There are a lot of thes in here. Go back in there and start circling them. Okay? All right. It was fun learning about groundhogs. See you later.